Hello, everybody. It's Rogaway here. And today we are going to be looking at something called tables in web design. And if any of you have ever used a program like, let's say, something like Microsoft Excel, for example, that's a good example of a table making program. Basically, a table is a way to organize information in a more organized way. That's the best way I could describe it. And I'm going to show you today how you can use tables in a website to make a more organized website. So let's go to the folder and we're going to find the index file and we're going to right click and we're going to open with Dreaweaver and wait for that to load. All right, here it is. All right, now let's start by putting a picture in the background. And I'm going to show you something kind of cool with this file that I have, and this is going to actually carry on in the next tutorial. But in this tutorial, you will see inside this section called Style that we got some funky looking text that we haven't seen before. And let's just put in the page title, Basics of Tables. Something like that. Anyways, down here we got an interesting thing. This is a better way of putting pictures into the background of your websites, and it uses something called CSS. And that is also the topic for this week. So in this area that says URL, background image URL, we are going to put the picture that is inside of our images. It's called background 1. So here's how we would do that. We would simply type images, and you'll see that it starts to come up. And background, oh, it's just called background. I don't know why I called background 1. And background. I'm going to show you why this is a better way of doing it, because if you remember from our last tutorial, our wallpaper tiled, it like kept repeating. And in this case, look what happens when we change the page. Magically, the background scales to whatever size we change it to. Now, the reason that's super useful is if you're building a website and it has to be viewed on a phone and on a computer and on an iPad and whatever, you're going to want it to scale and change to whatever size you're viewing it. Okay, let's move ahead. So we're inside the body now. And let's put a logo. This is a bit of a refresher from our last one when we were working with images. So let's put an IMG tag with a source equals. We're going to go into the images folder. We're going to find the logo. All right. Now here's something different than what we did last time. We are going to put width equals, which we did do last time, but instead of putting a number here, instead of putting like 300 or whatever, let's put a percent. So let's say I put 50% and then I close it. Look at that. This is the Overwatch logo, and you will see that it is sitting at exactly 50% of the page. The width of it is exactly 50% of the page. And here's another crazy thing, that if I scale this page down, let's say it was on a phone, the logo will also scale down to whatever size I make the page. Now that is much better because, like I said, you view it on a small screen or a big screen or whatever, it's always going to be 50% of the page no matter what the size. So that's cool. Let's put a center tag, and I know center tags are not, they're frowned upon because they're no longer used, but let's put a center tag around this so that we can see it nicely centered. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this tutorial, which is tables. That's what I wanted to show you. So let's put the tag, it's called table, easy to remember. All right, we're going to have a width of, let's say, 90%. Let's use percentages now. Okay, we're going to have a background color for this table of, let's say, white. I'm also going to add a border of 1 to this table. All right, you'll notice that I don't use any quotations around things. I probably should. It's probably better better practice to do that. Okay, but it's just a bad habit of mine of not having them in there. Anyways, this is up to you if you want to add it or not. It's up to you. Okay, and you will see once we've done that, nothing changes. We're going to close our table right here. I'm going to just close it off. And here's the way that tables work. If you are familiar with what a table is, it's basically something that holds data, like I said, but it has two things. It has rows and it has columns. You will notice I just realized that there is a little line that has shown up under the logo. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. It's kind of hard to see. That is your table. It's showing up, but it has nothing in it. So in order to create a table that actually has something, always takes, I don't know why, but people get messed up on this. We first of all need to create a row. So we're going to put a TR, which is table row. And you notice how that line gets a little thicker because we've now added a row. And so if you know, rows go horizontally and columns go vertically. So in order to create a column, because it doesn't just automatically make a column, we're going to put TD. I'll be honest, doesn't make a lot of sense. They should have had TC, table column, but instead they have TD, which is table description, which to me doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. All right, let's just put hello in that column. You will see everything is working perfectly. We got a table that is 90% of the way across the page. It's centered, so it fits 90%. The background color is white. It has a border of 1. That's what we see here, this sort of line around it. We have one row, and we have one column that says hello. Now, what happens if we were to add a second column? So let's say we did TD again, and we said hello again. Well, look what happens. It automatically splits up this page into multiple columns, okay, as you can see. So far, I know it's not very exciting. I'll be honest, I know that. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually fill it with information that is going to be something that people actually do maybe want to look at. Okay, so let's take out hello, and let's instead put an image tag with a source equals, we'll go to images, and let's go with, Genji. Okay, and let's just close that off. Let's see how big that picture is. That's Genji's huge, takes up a lot of room, okay, and we're going to fix that right away. Okay, so we can see that he's been added. We're going to adjust the size of this in a second. But in the tutorial folder, okay, if I go back to the tutorial folder and I go to the descriptions file, you will see that I have got descriptions for all the players' characters within this game. I actually just guessed whether Genji was the first one. Oh, and he is. I thought he was. Okay. So you see that Genji has a write-up. What we're going to do is we're going to just take this write-up, because I don't want you guys to have to type. God, I don't want you guys to hurt your fingers. You're going to copy Genji's description and his abilities by selecting it, just by clicking and holding and then going to Edit Copy or Command-C or right-clicking and copying. There's so many ways to do it. And then we're going to paste that description into the part that says hello again. We're going to paste it in there, okay? And what it's going to do, remember that HTML is dumb. It doesn't know where there's spaces. It doesn't know what's supposed to be on separate lines. It doesn't know anything. So what we need to do is on the Genji, where it says Genji, we're going to put a break, so that it moves down to the next line. And then you see Genji flings precisely and deadly shuriken. We're going to just tab that over. I'm just pressing the tab key. And then we've got somewhere down here it says abilities. Right? We'll just kind of move that over too. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want. You can just leave it all along the left side. To me, it bugs me To me, it just looks wrong if it's all sitting on the left side. It's gotta fit. Okay, something like that. Now, you'll notice that after cuts down enemies, there should be a space. There should actually be a double space. So we're going to put a BR, so that it drops down. After abilities, we're going to put a BR. Oop, not an R. Come on, Rogaway. Okay, and then we're going to copy or just type BR every time here to space it out correctly. And you'll see it changing up above. All right, so you can see that now it's kind of spaced out correctly. Maybe let's put an extra space after Genji. Maybe let's bold Genji, so remember that's just a B tag. And we'll just close it off on the back side there. Well, maybe we'll do the same for abilities. This is all just extra, by the way. You don't have to do this. This is more of a review of our first tutorial where we were dealing with text, making text look better. I'm not saying that looks amazing, but now you can see that this column automatically adjusts its thickness for how much information is inside of it. So you can see that it's all kind of stretched, and then this picture has become sort of smaller because it's not that it's become any smaller, it just takes up less space because there's more information inside here. So you can see how a table works. It's fairly simple. Okay, let's say I want to add the next character. Now you can pause this video right now and just try to do it on your own. If you look in the file, the next player here is McCree, which I don't even think, that's not even his name anymore. Doesn't matter. The next player is McCree. So let's see. If you want to pause it and try to do it yourself, great. If you don't, that's okay, because I'm going to show you. For those who didn't pause it at that point, let me show you how to do it. So we're going to take everything from the row where the row starts, okay? Because remember, tables are rows and columns, right? So we're going to take everything from the starting tag TR all the way down to where that TR ends. We're going to copy it. Okay, we can right click and copy it, or we can press Command C. And then we're going to go and paste it, Command V, or right click and paste. And now what we're going to have two things of Genji. All right, Genji is repeated, but think of how much time we just saved ourselves, because now we can just simply go and replace the information. So first of all, the picture is McCree. There he is. It's already found it. There he is. The information we can copy and paste from here. Now this is where it gets a little crazy, because we are going to lose some of the stuff that we had in here. We're going to just paste that in there. Okay. Make sure to put in your breaks again. Unfortunately, it doesn't keep it. Yeah, there we go. That's updating there nicely. Close the bold if you have it. I'm going pretty fast because, again, I'm assuming you guys were paying attention on my other tutorials and you know how to do this already. So let's just tab that over. Boop, 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 boop. This is, by the way, this is really bad formatting that I'm doing here. I'm just letting you know, but I'm doing it quick and dirty to try to get through this nice and quick for you guys, so you can get this done. Okay, I'm putting lots of breaks. I'm gonna bold the text here, as you can see. Make it look like Genji. All right. Oops, I think I put an extra space there. I probably should have had only one. Okay, they look very similar. So now, if we wanted to make this look a little bit better, what we could do is, you'll notice that we've got this ugly border that goes around the picture. So we could set the border to 0 anytime, and that'll actually take the border off so we could see what that table would look like without it. It looks a lot nicer. You can also do something called cell padding, which allows a little bit of space between the pictures and the text. So you see what that did? It added that border. I'll show you if it's 0. See how the space is gone? If you add a little bit of padding, it adds a little bit of space, which makes it easier to read. You could experiment with things. You could try having no background color on the table. That might look weird. Yeah, it does look weird. Oh, I got an idea. Okay, as you'll notice that because these are PNGs, they have their backgrounds cut out, but the text is really hard to read like that. So what we could do is on our table description for the write-up part, I think we could put a background color. Yeah, we can, just for that part. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. I'm just putting it right into the tag. Yeah, see, that worked. Now Genji has a white background and the picture doesn't. All right, hopefully that makes sense. We're just putting BG color equals white in the tag next to the name of the person where the actual description is. So there we go. That looks cool. So as you can tell, guys, I'm going to save this right now, okay? Just go File, Save. Make sure you got it. This will be your weekly tutorial. As you can tell, guys, there's a lot you can do with tables. It'll help you position things on the page much more accurately when you're building a website. I'll just show you how that looks in an actual browser. It's not going to look, let me be honest with you guys, it's not going to look amazing. All right, but what it is going to allow you to do, I'm just zooming out a little bit. What it's going to let you do is organize things a lot better. So you can see those pictures are kind of hard to see. If you feel like practicing and getting better at tables, I recommend that you do the rest of the characters that I have in that file. I mean, I've got all the images and the write-ups for them. But take a look at how this scales. All right, check it out. You'll see that this scales really nicely. And if you're viewing this on a phone versus a computer, a phone would probably be about that size. And a computer obviously is much wider. So it's important that you understand how to make responsive sites so that they respond to any device that somebody is viewing it on. One last thing about tables. Again, these are really basics of tables, but you can add as many columns as you want. Just keep adding TDs in here before you add another TR, because a TR will add the row. But you can have as many columns as you want. You can fit whatever information you want within that, whether it's pictures or text or whatever, and you can keep it organized in blocks. So I recommend you play with tables. You at least know, at least make sure you know how to make them. All right. Because again, if you are making websites, tables can be super useful. All right, make sure you save it, and thanks for watching.